system and smart speaker. Those are the headlines we are tracking for you this evening. Freshtohome, a fully integrated online consumer brand for preservative and antibiotic residue-free fresh fish and meat, has closed $104 million in its Series D funding, with Amazon Samba Venture Fund leading the round. Existing investors in Freshtohome, including Iron Pillar, Investcorp, Investment Corporation of Dubai, Ascent Capital, and new investors E20 Investment, Mount Julian Ventures, and Dala Al Baraka, also participated in this round. To talk to us about the road ahead, joining me now is Shan, the co-founder and CEO of Freshtohome. Shan, welcome back to Startup Street. Freshtohome is now a Proficon. You've achieved operating margin profitability. Shan, what led to this? Also, if you could tell us, how soon do you hope to achieve overall profitability, and what is the current valuation of the company?
Hi, Shruti. Thank you for having me here. It's always great to be part in this show. Just at a very high level, we are, the largest online brand for fish and meat. It took us 7 years to get here, so it's not really something that took, was done overnight, and a lot of, pain and struggle to build the moat required to get to be operationally profitable. A big part of what we do is to go directly to fishermen and farmers, source, the freshest and the most chemical-free products, and then deliver that to consumers in 160 cities in India and the UAE. So now the unmet need really in India's market is an incredibly large market. The unmet need is really around lack of cold chain and also intermediaries in the entire fish supply chain. In the poultry supply chain, we believe a critical consumer need is really a lack of enough antibiotic-free, poultry. These are the two things that we have really solved. And what we've done is rather than going and doing it or buying it from vendors in the city, we've gone all the way down to the source, right? Our platform enables us to have almost 3,000 to 4,000 fishermen and farmers directly trading with us using a really innovative commodities exchange auctions technology.
Sure.
This allows us to, cut off the middlemen, save that extra, 10, 15, 20, 30% margins, and use that to build a sustainable business.
Sure, Shan, we'll delve deeper into the model a little bit later, but if you could tell me the valuation of the company.
So I was intentionally, delaying it. I couldn't really tell you the valuations; it'd be not there. But what I can tell you, it's at least 2 to 3 times higher than the previous round.
All right.
And I think, yeah.
Yeah, and also, like I mentioned earlier, Amazon Samba Venture Fund has led the Series D funding. What does their backing mean to you? What are the synergies? And how do you plan to use Amazon's infrastructure to build new markets?
So we're, Amazon's is an amazing name. It's the gold standard for customer excellence. So we hope to learn some of that. We already are the leaders in sort of doing that from direct to consumer. But Amazon brings in an amazingly large scale experience. So it's a great financial partnership currently. It will potentially evolve into a lot more broader, but that's it at this point, and we'll go from there.
Okay. So tell me, Shan, how will the fresh funds, raised strengthen Freshtohome's mission to make 100% preservative and antibiotic residue-free fish, seafood and meat accessible and affordable to millions of meat lovers? What are the fund allocation plans?
So the primary use of capital is now to grow much more deeper in the 160 cities, of which 100 of them are new. So we are going much more deeper in those cities and, bringing the share of revenue from those cities to be higher. The secondary capital is to expand internationally. So we are going, we've been very successful in the UAE. We are now going to Saudi. Okay. And lastly, this is one that's very close to my heart, is, we've, been largely online until last year. And in the last 12 months on the platform, we've started about 30 stores and to start our omni-channel strategy. This has become incredibly successful for us. We think this will be the growth vector going forward. So a reasonably large pool of capital will going into pursuing our omni-channel strategy. These already are about 20% of our new users come from these 30 stores that we have started in the last 12 months' time.
Okay, all right. Shan, like you were mentioning earlier, the core strength of Freshtohome lies in its tech platform, Commodities Exchange, which empowers over 4,000 fishermen and farmers to electronically auction their produce for sale on the website. Tell me, what is your tech edge? How have you simplified the whole process?
So in a very simple sense, right, in any commodities in India, and especially in the fish and meat space, there is huge amounts of exploitation of the producer, right? And this is because they don't have access to the final market. So in a fish industry, they have to rely on at least 3 or 4 middlemen to reach the end consumer. This adds not just, a price exploitation to the fisherman or farmer. it also adds quality issues for the end consumer because the fish is an extremely perishable product, right? And it can't stay for 3-4 days without cold chain. So what we are doing really here is that we've given an app to the huge number of fishermen in the different harbors of India, and we allow them to electronically bid with us, right? The same time that they're doing a physical auction, they're able to auction also on our marketplace. And essentially what this allows them to do is to get a 20% higher price. Now, as a company, we get a 40% overall gross margin, right? Because we are able to leverage the arbitrage, we're able to cut off the middleman. So it's a win-win for both parties. And it allows the trust to pass that price benefit then to the consumer and to run a really bottom line positive business, right? Which brings me to the full operational margin profitability. And that's why we call ourselves a Proficon.
Yeah. Okay, so you've created a robust technology-enabled supply chain and scalable backward integrated capabilities to serve both customers as well as farmers and fishers. Shan, if you can now talk to me about Freshtohome's revenue model and the revenue mix coming from India and UAE.
So we about 15% of our revenue comes from international in UAE, and the 85% is from India. Fish is about 40 to 45% of what we sell. Then poultry is about 40%, and then everything else is after that.
And the revenue model with both of your clients?
So we are a direct B2C model. We are a D2C. 100% of our revenue comes from the consumer.
All right. Shan, like you mentioned, you currently operate in over 160 cities in India and the UAE, and you offer more than 2,000 certified fresh and chemical-free products. Any new product offerings in the pipeline?
So we have, in the last 12 months, we've really worked on the ready-to-eat and ready-to-cook part of our portfolio. It used to be about 2% of our overall revenues in the last 12 months back. Now it's about 11% of our revenues. So that's an incredible jump. It's all on the back of the same brand edifice that we talk about. Everything that we sell is preservative-free. So anything that you buy in ready-to-cook or ready-to-eat won't have an E number or any of the bad stuff that you would see from a shrink-wrapped in the retail stores.
All right, Shan, wish you the very best with all your expansion plans and especially with Saudi. Many thanks for joining us on Startup Street today.
Thank you, Shruti. Thank you for having me.
Moving on, profitability is the hot topic for startup founders and investors